everyone, this is Direwolf20, and welcome to episode 25 of Direwolf20's Satisfactory Let's Play series, where I am currently getting ready to build out a train. Oh yeah, those will be cool. I like trains. Trains are cool in Satisfactory. So the plan for today is as follows. I'm going to build a sky bridge that will extend all the way over to my oil platform. You can see I actually just drove out there, placed down a beacon where my oil is, and then drove back so that I would know exactly where to head towards. So my basic plan is just head straight like north that way, and then we'll make a left-hand turn, head out to the west, or, well, I guess east and then north, I guess is the accurate description of what direction I'm heading. But yes, you know what I mean. So let's talk about trains and how they work, because we're going to have to do that now. So the first thing we're going to want to set up for our trains under transportation is going to be the actual train station itself. So that's pretty straightforward. And you can see that when you go to place your train station, it's a pretty big construct. I like that. That seems like a pretty cool place to put it, like right here-ish. Boom. Dun 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 dun. It's our train station! Hooray! And it gets automatically named something random, but you can go ahead and change it. Cool. So we'll go ahead and give this guy a friendly name. We'll call him Base 01, I guess. That should be cool. And we'll talk about the timetable section in a minute here, right? But that's the gist. And we're going to go ahead and connect up power to this bad boy. And you'll notice that he's going to go ahead and start drawing about 50 megawatts, as we saw. And if you're paying close attention to our consumption and capacity and production stuff, you'll note that we have now our max consumption, what we could potentially draw if all our machines were running, is currently above the 1800 megawatts that we're producing. So luckily we are only consuming 1500-ish, so we've got a little bit of a buffer in terms of power. And don't forget, we are producing a bit more petroleum coke stuff back at the oil field, so we might, because now that we have access to the tier 4 belts, we might make a few more coal power plants out there just to satisfy the fact that we've got plenty more that we can do. I think there was like, didn't we say we could do 14 and I did 8? So we could do like 6 more? Sound about right? I think so. So that's the plan. So that's step 1, right? Step 2 of this is to place a freight platform. So you can either do a regular freight platform for items or a fluid freight platform for liquids. But we're going to go ahead and put the items here. And you'll notice that it kind of snaps directly to the train station. That's cool. And you can face it either way, whichever way you want, depending on, you know, where you want your item inputs and outputs to be. So I'm going to go ahead and drop it that way. Sweet. And that's going to be the freight platform. Pretty simple and straightforward so far. So we've got item inputs and outputs here, so that if you're loading items in to send out in the other direction, which is not what we're doing on this side, you would pipe into the inputs, obviously. And if you're piping items out, which is what we are doing over here, you know, would do something along those lines. So we'll do something like this, and we'll, like, you know, something else-ish, right? So we'll figure it out when we actually have items to transport, okay? Now, from there, how did I do with this? Is this kind of aligned in a way that's not ideal? It is a little bit, so I might wind up moving this. I just realized that I don't want that the way I have it set up. So let's try that again, shall we? We're going to do the train station, but I would like, and I think if I remember correctly, you want the arrow facing out, the direction that the train will be leaving. Cool. So I'm going to make sure that this is kind of centered in the platform here. And the reason I want to do that is I only want to build one set of bridges out in that direction, right? So we can do that if we do it correctly, right? Okay, so base 01 seems cool. Reconnect it to power, seems cool. Get our freight platform, item input output on the right side, and then we should be pretty cool here. Nice. All right, good deal, good deal. Now, in addition to that, we're going to want a locomotive to be chilling on the track. So we need 5 beacons per locomotive. So let's go ahead and craft up 10 beacons, because we're going to actually want 2 locomotives. And the reason for that is we want a locomotive facing one direction, and then a locomotive facing the other direction. Now, you could I think locomotives can only go in one direction, right? So if you wanted to, you could create like a loop, but that's going to use a lot more track. So I don't see a reason to do that. It's a lot easier and simpler to go ahead and have a locomotive like here. Okay. And then a freight car connected to it. Okay. And then after that, we're going to have another locomotive. But first, what we're going to need are some railways. Cool. Now, railways, you kind of get to build out. And you'll notice that I have a lot of pipes and plates on me because I wanted to make sure I had a lot for this. But railways kind of get built out similar to conveyor belts. Now, there is a limit to how far they can go before they, are too long. But that's the gist. Not too bad, right? Not too bad. And then we can go ahead and get ourselves another electric locomotive. But I'm going to make sure that it's facing the other direction. Boom. How cool is that? And we should be cool, right? And then this station will be unloading. Okay? So he's going to unload any items that are in the locomotive. Now, if you want, you can hop into the locomotive and start driving. Now, we're not going to be able to get too far, obviously. Cool. And I'm obviously not going very slow. And you can see on the bottom how much energy it's costing me to run that locomotive. Look at that, freight car inventory. Cool. So let's try this out. I'm going to put a few copper sheets in here. And then we're going to drive our train into here. And he should just stop. Are you going to unload? You should unload. Ish. Now, I think if there's V, we can open this up. Yeah. So what I could do, I'm going to drive out here a little bit on our awesome train. Open up the schedule. We're going to add to the timetable. We're going to head to base 1 as the next stop, and we're going to turn on autopilot. Unable to reach next stop. Really? Should be able to reach next stop. Why can't you reach next stop? Because you can face this way, can't you? You should be able to. I really think you should be able to. I'm not sure if something changed, right? With trains, but I think you should be cool. Huh, interesting. Oh boy, that's gonna be a hurt. Yeah. Not the end of the world, though. Yes, why indeed can't you stop at base 1? So our timetable here for locomotive, right? You can configure that over here as well. Autopilot on. Doesn't seem to want to. Let me try and bring it in manually then. Actually, yeah, he doesn't want to go that direction. Did he get turned around? Why can't he brake? Whoops, I fell again. It's going to happen a lot, I'm sure. Why can you suddenly not move, sir? Do you not have power? You should have power. So you can go forwards. You can go backwards. Okay. What about this buddy? So you can go forwards and backwards. Now what if I turned you on autopilot? Not sure why that is. It's an interesting one. But anyway, let's bring him in manually and see if we can get him to unload here. It might be that maybe the station is facing the wrong way. That could be it. I might have faced my station the wrong way. Let's test that. That might be the situation that we find ourselves in. So let's dismantle our train station and face him the other way. I think we want him facing this way, if I'm not mistaken. And then we'll power line him. And then, are you cool to be timetable? We're just going to trash this. We're going to add base 1 as the next stop, autopilot on. Invalid next stop. Well, that's slightly different. Let me play with this for a sec, because clearly I'm not remembering correctly how this is supposed to work. Let's see if he's going to unload when I get here. Not super much, no. Alright, back in a minute. So I was right the first time. You definitely want the arrow facing outwards, so away from the track. So that's cool. We'll name you base 1. Wow, max consumption is 320, by the way. Whew. Bananas. You'll consume more power based on your train and how fast it's going. Cool. So current consumption still in that 1500-ish mark, but your max consumption is now 2090 if the train was going full speed. So the faster a train goes, the more power it's going to consume. All right, let's try this timetable thing here. So we're going to add you, base 1 as next stop. Yep. And then autopilot on. Invalid next stop. I don't know why that is. Let's just try docking it manually. Maybe once we have the other train set up, it'll be cool. Because it should not have too much of a problem here. Okay. So now, I should be able to open this thing up and dock it. Cannot dock outside of station. Train, you being weird. I'm 100% inside a station. Well, I think what I'll do, maybe just because I don't have the other station set up. So 2 things I could do just as a test. Just to test it, because I really want to get this up and running. What I'm going to do is build the other station right here. And then I can show you guys how it'll look, and then we'll build it out elsewhere. Does that sound cool? So let's just pretend this is our oil area, right? So here we're going to have another freight platform. Right? And we kind of want this as well lined up as possible. He wants to be placed in line with another train platform, but then he also doesn't want to snap. Freight platform. Huh. You know what I'll do is I'll build the train station first. And again, we want to kind of center it, and you want the arrow facing away from the other train station. Was that right? I think that was right, but I just want to be sure. Yes, facing away. And then we've got our freight platform here. And then we'll connect our railway. And this thing should be now connected to the power network. We can check that out at the train station side. See? Power. Cool. And we'll call it test 1. And timetable locomotive. We're going to add that. I thought I changed you to test 1. So now he's going to go back and forth between base 1 and test 1. So let's turn on autopilot and see what happens. Cool. You gonna go, buddy? You can do it. I believe in you. Now he doesn't want to move at all. Okay. You can do it. I'm going to pull him out of this station, and then we'll see what happens. Okay. Autopilot, go. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Okay, cool. So this side, he should do the load, and the other side, he should do the unload. So obviously, he's really, you know, not getting up to speed too much because we don't have too long of a track, but you get the idea, right? So over here, he would load whatever items he's got. Unable to reach next stop. Why would that be? Why indeed? Because you're obviously facing the right way, Mr. Locomotive. Why can you not reach the next stop? Why is test 1 the next stop twice? That doesn't make any sense. Autopilot off. Okay. Timetable. Base 1. Test 1. Autopilot on. Hey, there we go. Okay, cool. And then he should unload the items I manually put inside his freight car when we get over here. And then he should go back to test 1. And he should literally just drive back and forth between the two at this point. There he goes. Nice. That's what I wanted to see. Awesome. Look at that. Look how cool that looks. Isn't that the greatest? And then he receives his items. And he's good to go. How cool is that? And then he's going to head back over to here where he would receive items if there were any to receive. Perfect. Perfect. That's what I wanted to see. All right. Beautiful. So what I'm going to do is turn off autopilot for a minute. I'm going to back this dude up a little bit. I'm going to hop out. And then we're going to dismantle all this stuff because we don't need it no more. Cool. Okay, now what we want to do is head off to our oil platform area. And we want to load a nice long railway. Now we're keeping it nice and centered on the platforms here, and that'll keep the rail nice and straight, which is definitely what we want. Okay. I was really hoping we'd make it over these trees, but I'm starting to think we might not. I'm starting to think we might not be as tall as I thought we were. It looked to me at the time we were over the trees. Can I ramp upwards, you think? That's a good question. We're going to find out. I actually don't know if we can go up. But we're going to find out, folks. I don't think I can cut down these trees, unfortunately. And I'd rather not have tree leaves poking through my platforms. So what I'll try to do is something like this. Okay. And then we're about to learn if you can go uphill, no problem. The railway track is too steep. It would appear that that's true. Definitely too steep. But this is about where we want to be, and then we could head out that way and then to the left, right? Okay. Let's see if I can make it a little bit okay. Like, rather than going straight up, maybe we can do, like, up and then forward kind of deal. That seems okay. Now, to be clear, you would not be cool. Ah! Not what I meant to do, but yes, you get the idea. I can get back up there. Alright guys, what seems like it worked to me was about 3 ramps worth. So I've got flat platform followed by 3 ramps, then I have 2 flat platforms, 3 more ramps, and then into flat platform territory. And that looks pretty good. Pretty good. There's a mild amount of clipping, but I don't think it's a big deal. Okay? So now, we're just going to head on out in that direction. And we're just going to build out this railway. Should be cool. I don't think Smart has anything for railways, but that's okay. They're pretty easy to build. Now, do be careful as you're building up here because, you know, obviously, things can get a little dicey. If we were to fall right now, it would probably be bad. So you recognize where we are? That's the pathway that we normally take. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay. Now at some point we're going to want to bang to the left. Right? I think so. Okay. Nice and straight. Oh, check this out. You can actually see way in the distance over there are oil fields. So what I think I might want to do, I'm trying to like line up exactly where I want to go with this. I don't want to drive through that giant mushroom, obviously. That would probably not be ideal. Maybe we could do something like this. And just to be clear, you don't have to go right up to it, because don't forget we can, you know, do stuff with conveyors and stuff, right? Now, if we're smart about our turn here, how does that feel? Are you gonna let me go nice and straight? I hope. Yeah, not quite. We want to make sure that we get the turn accurate. I don't quite know exactly where to line it up. We're gonna try snapping it to right here. And see how that looks. That looks pretty good, actually. That curvature looks nice. And not that we need to put a platform underneath it, but, I mean, it would look nice, wouldn't it? Just have a little extra, you know. Yeah, just to pretend like physics is a thing. We're just pretending. Pretending physics exists. Okay. And then we basically want to just head off in this direction. And then we might want another turn over there once we get closer. So let me build that out off camera and we'll be right back. All right, just checking in, letting you guys know where I'm at with this. We've got this pathway coming here, and then we've got a nice turn going on. Let's see if I made this nice and straight. Looks like I did, so that's cool. And then we're getting awfully close to this place. Cool. Now, what we're probably going to want to do is something like that. Get this built out over to here. Let's go ahead and bring our railway over too. And then let's build the platform right here, right? Something like that. That sound cool? So then we could build our train station here. Remember, you want it facing away from the train. And we want it nice and centered on this platform. Okay, and then the freight platform can go here. And inputs on that side's fine. And you're going to be loading the train. And then we just connect our railway to our platform, and then we should be good. Cool. All right. And then we'll name this guy Oil. Okay. And then our timetable for the locomotive, we will add. We're gonna actually just remove both of these. And I'm gonna close out of the UI in case shenanigans, right? And then 1, 2. We're gonna change this to Oil. We're gonna bump that up as the next stop and turn on the autopilot. Don't tell me no timetable. Don't tell me no timetable. There's a timetable, and you're going to follow it, sir. Now, what we should be seeing... Ah, perfect. Look, you can see your locomotives like you can see your trucks on the map. So we can see the locomotive actually coming out here. So what I'm going to do is let the locomotive come all the way out here. Once it gets here, I'll come back, and we'll set the thing up. Cool? So if you look in the distance, you can see our train coming. Now... as a note, you can have multiple loading platforms for your train station. So, if you were to, for example, have a lot of plastic and rubber production, too much is being produced for the time it takes for the trains to go back and forth, you could have 2 freight cars on your train. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Now, what I'm going to do is go to my timetable locomotive and turn off autopilot. Just so that he's nice and, you know, not too much on, right? I'm actually going to back him out a little bit so that he's ready here. Brake. Okay, thank you. And then let's get ready to run our stuff up here. Now remember, we have access to power here, so we can connect this guy right out and, like, set up a power line if we need to power anything. And it's all the same, you know, network and everything. So that's cool. Now, you think I could get a hypertube entrance down there? And get this power line hooked up? Invalid aim location, huh? Well, what I could do... is something like that. It might be a little too far to get to there, but we could totally whoosh straight down to this, right? Woohoo, that's cool. That is cool. And then we could whoosh right through the mushroom, because you're allowed to whoosh through terrain. I think you guys know that, right? Set up a hypertube entrance on this guy. Connect him to some semblance of power. And then, whoosh. How cool is that? Eh? Not bad. All right, step 1. Step 2, getting the resources up here. Well, boy, that is way too fast. That is a fast output right there. Just as an FYI, that is very fast. Cool. So now what we're going to want to do is get our rubber and plastics up there. So what I might do is just... I'm going to disconnect these for a sec. And instead, we're going to route... Do I want to merge them? I feel like I could merge them, right? I could probably merge them. Why don't I merge the rubber and the plastic together? Does that sound like a plan? Merger? What are these? 3s? Okay. Cool. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to use a Mark IV lift to go super high. Okay. Now I'd like to get on top of that mushroom for a sec. Let's see if I can get up there with just the ladder. These things are a little too close to each other. It's alright, we'll find a way up. It's close. Close. If I had my jetpack, I could probably make it, but I don't have the jetpack yet. I didn't make that yet. I just need this, like, somewhat temporarily. Encroaching on another's clearance, huh? I made the jump! I'm an expert. I almost didn't make that jump, though. That was way easier of a jump. Alright, now where am I with relation to that thing that I want to do? Just build a couple temporary platforms so that I can see what I'm doing. Really need to get that jetpack. That'll be one of my next tasks, I promise. There it is. Okay. Cool. And then we should be able to connect that up. And then we should be good. We'll find out. Whoosh. So in my mind, what happens is the build tool burrows through the mushroom, and it's therefore not weird. That's all I'm saying about that. So then you up to here, and then you can be a Mark IV belt to here. And then you can go right into there. And now we're getting all our plastics and rubber. How cool is that? How cool is that, folks? Because I think it's pretty cool. And then we don't need any of this nonsense. Though we're going to have to do something like with the awesome sink, right? So we're going to have to redo this bit. Because we want the plastic and rubber. if the train station ever fills up, we want the plastic and rubber to get awesome synced, right? So we're going to want to reconfigure that bit. All right, and I'm going to manually fill up my train station with plastic and rubber here so we can simulate that. And because I want to take all this plastic and rubber that we have and get it back to my main base. All right, so now we're ready to roll. So I'm going to put all this stuff in here, and you can see that our plastic and our rubber is filling up pretty much. Now what we're going to want, just like we had down there, is we're going to want some kind of smart splittery kind of setup, right? That should be cool. So we can have our awesome sync up here. We can have the smart splitter. Like this. So left output will be none, center input will be any, and then right output will be overflow, right? And we want this to be a Mark IV belt into that dude. Does that look cool? Right? So nothing's going to go in there until our train station completely fills up, which will happen in a minute, so we'll come back when it does, just to validate that everything's doing what we want it to do. The other thing that's cool about this, well, actually, no, we do have a minor problem. We do have a minor problem. We should probably split the plastics and the rubber, because if that fills up with rubber, everything's going to be voided. And all the plastic will be voided before it... Yeah. Right? We could void it on the other side. That's what we'll do. We'll make sure that the other side also has an awesome sync setup, and we will split the plastic and the rubber at our main base, and we'll fill up industrial containers with them. And what we'll do is we'll split it with a smart splitter, and then we'll have overflows, and that'll be cool. Yes, I like that plan. All right, so I think what's going on is we got a piece of plastic jammed up in there because he can't fit. And that means that all items are now routing to the awesome sync. Perfect. Working exactly as intended. So let me print out my coupons, just because I'm here, might as well. And then let's get this train rolling, eh? So if we were to open up the train and autopilot on, he should roll into the station. Very slowly, because we're like right next to the station. I'm going to hop out here. What I like about trains is you can ride the train while autopilot is active. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but unless it changed, I don't think I've tested it recently, but unless it changed, you can't ride trucks and tractors while their autopilot is on. Okay. Hey, look, here comes the thing. Freight cargo lifting up. Looking good. Loading in. I just wanted to... Oh, right, you can't interact with the UI while the thing's doing its thing. Boom. How cool is that? The models in this game are something else, let me tell you. Aren't they, though? Oh, yeah, nice and loaded up. Significant, right? So I can just hop in the train and go for the ride. Oh, by the way, you can left-click. The best part. The best part of trains is left-clicking. I mean, need I say more? Yeah, it's the best. How cool is this? I'm curious how our power is doing at the moment. I got to imagine we're struggling. We might be hitting our cap because, yeah. Because remember, the faster the train goes, it's using 26 megawatts now. So I guess we're probably not hitting the cap, per se, but we're getting close. So I think we're probably going to wrap up here, and we're probably going to come back next episode. And when we do, what I'm going to do is make sure that our petroleum coke stuff is being fully utilized. And then I'm also going to maybe ramp up our steel production. Depending on our situation with steel, we might be struggling a little bit. And then we'll see what's next. Does that sound like a cool plan? Oh, we also have to export the plastic and the rubber off of here. But this thing's now going to run back and forth. And it's just like the trucks. It's going to run in an endless loop. It'll go back to the rubber and plastic area. It'll get rubbers and plastic. It'll back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It'll be cool. So next episode, because we're definitely at wrapping up point, we will establish the exporting of items, the awesome syncing of overflow, all that good stuff. Cool? But for now, you know what it is? It's yield wrapping up point. So Devil20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. A little longer today, but you know, I really wanted to get the train up and running before the end of the episode, right? And I'm gonna say mission accomplished. It looks pretty good to me. Pretty good to me. All right, enjoy train. All right, guys, that's trains. Super fun, super cool. Wrapping up point. Devil20 signing off. Take it easy.